If you understand this triangle, this picture, then you know where your favorite part fits in. You know where your part contributes. Every part of the Constitution contributes to that concept right there. Now, I'll grant you, it's a simplification, but it's not an oversimplification. You guys can make a difference. You guys can help restore that constitutional republic. But, again, you've got to start somewhere. My proposal to you, as advocates of the Constitution, is that you start with the tax issue. What was the objective in the European theater of World War II? Berlin. Why did we just start there? Good, right. What's our objective with respect to this rogue government? Put it back in the box, right? Why don't we just do that? You can't do it all, right? No. So you have to start somewhere. Why didn't we start Normandy? Normandy was vulnerable. We had a way to do it. We had the means to do it. The tax issues that I just described to you are issues that the government is vulnerable on. And I'm going to prove it to you, or show you how to prove it to yourself. Go to the Internal Revenue Service website, irs.gov. Click in frivolous arguments. Pull up, they have a page somewhere on that website that describes and refutes all frivolous, quote, tax protester, they can't call it that anymore, arguments. Now they call them tax deniers. Arguments. Find the argument that they refute in there, that there's no provision in the law that makes us liable. It's not on the list. And they don't refute it because they can't. Find in there where it says that the definition of income isn't defined by the IRS, and that there is absolutely no legal basis for saying 100% of your personal earnings are profit, income. You won't find that one in there. Find in there the argument that the product or income, because the tax isn't on income, maybe this will help too. Tax isn't on income. First, tax is on activity that produces the income, a privileged activity, taxable privileged activity that produces income, and income is the measure of the tax. It tells you how much you pay. Just like the value of property is the measure of a property tax. So find in there that the exercise of your constitutionally protected, our constitutional right, Constitution protected, we don't get rights out of the Constitution. Our rights come from our Creator. We take those on our day that we're born, we have those rights. And we don't answer to them. And that's in that preamble, by the way, or in some of the materials that you had in yours. We don't have the government to think for that. So find in that list where it says that your exercise of your fundamental constitutional rights are exempt from taxation. Prove this to you on the taxation of rights. How many of you will agree if I tell you that the power to tax is the power to destroy? If I can tax your rights, I can also destroy your rights. If I can destroy your rights, you have no rights. You can't argue with that. Find any of those 3 points. They're vulnerable because they're wrong. They're vulnerable because the truth is on your side. Not only that, but these issues are universal. Every household suffers from this giant deception. Every household in this country is a potential Constitution Party member because of that issue. Every household feels hurt. They're a victim. All of your ethnic groups claim to be victims. Well, we're victims. It's time we got out there and said, hey, we need some entitlements. Like, we want to be entitled to be left alone. So I want to suggest to you that the way to this, our Normandy, the Achilles heel of this rogue government, is in its deception and fraud through its misapplication of the Internal Revenue Code, and particularly Subtitle A, the income tax, to working Americans. That's where this party needs to go. Second, you made a point about having to form up a party. Well, there's two ways to do things. You know, you can either get there by putting everybody gets out and gets nuts and bolts and rubber and wires and cast iron or whatever else you need to build a bus, or you can go steal a bus. I'm not saying go out steal a bus, I'm just saying, think about this. You've got one huge organization out there, 1,500 meetup groups out there that are getting the rug pulled out from under them. How many people here are member of Ron Paul meetup groups? Now, I've got a job for all of you. Once you go back to your meetup groups, I want you to get them to join the Truth Attack. When I realized how many people were going to prison for telling the truth, and it's because they had nothing else they could do but do what I did. Gary Thomas and I formed Truth Attack. No money, no people, just two people. A website put up on borrowed money, on credit, with a client of mine who put it up on his a website hosting server. And what basically we did was we started giving people a way to fight the lies and the myths instead of fighting the beast, staying out of the cave. Truth Attack's mission is to make the public know what we know, to make the public aware, as Gary likes to put it. You know, these juries are convicting people for learning the truth and daring to confront the government with it. And the reason they're doing that is because everybody knows the earth is flat. Right? I love that. Everybody knows the earth is flat. But if people aren't sure whether the earth is flat or not, even if they don't know, are they going to burn somebody at stake for saying it is round? No. We're going to stop the conviction. We're going to stop the political prisoners. That's how prohibition stopped. The government couldn't prosecute and convict people and intimidate them through that and scare them. When they lost their teeth, they repealed prohibition. So that's what you need to remember on this, is that number one, it's a tax issue. Now, what is Truth Attack doing? April 15th, Operation Stop Thief. We've got over 200 groups now between Restore the Republic, the Aaron Russo's group. A lot of Ron Paul groups are signing on because this is their issue too. Because when you elevate the tax issue, you elevate the relevancy of the Ron Paul revolution. You make it more relevant. Just a second, sir. And so by elevating that tax issue, you've elevated his relevancy, made him more vital or more important. The other thing that you've done is that you have ingratiated yourselves to the tax issue, and you've educated your own to the tax issue, and you've started the ball rolling. Back to that. That's our Normandy. Yes, sir.
Do you have any contact with Tax Reform Immediately, which is a branch of the John Birch Society that has been doing this since 1966?
No, I haven't had any contact with them. I haven't heard from them.
Tax
But we
Reform
are.
Immediately does not exist.
Well, Truth Attack is a coalition of tax honesty community groups. They've been out there just running helter-skelter. What we did
I'm
was...
just answering his question. Trim doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, it doesn't? So, well, I had not heard from them.